Are you considering a move here to Kenosha or Kenosha County? I have 7 things that you should know about it. I'm Chad Scott with Epique Realty. If you have any questions about Kenosha, Kenosha County, or real estate in general, all my contact information is down below. Feel free to text message, call me, or drop a comment down below. I respond to all comments, all texts, and all calls as soon as I possibly can. Let's get into the video. The first thing you should know is affordability. Kenosha and Kenosha County is far more affordable than a lot of states out there and most other counties in Wisconsin in general. So if you're moving here from Illinois, like a lot of my clients are, you'll find that Kenosha and Kenosha County in general is just super affordable from Illinois. Our sales tax is a lot lower. Our sales tax here in Kenosha County is only 5.5%. If you're coming from Illinois, I think Lake County is like 7%. If you're coming from Chicago, I think their sales tax is like 10 or 12%. Even if you go up north to like Milwaukee County, their sales tax is higher. I'm not sure exactly what theirs is, but I know it's higher than ours here in Kenosha County. So our sales tax is lower. Our property taxes are lower than Illinois. Um, so affordability here in Kenosha is just a lot cheaper than it is a lot of other places around the country. Our gas prices are a lot cheaper than a lot of places around the country. I live literally 5 minutes across the border. My in-laws live in Illinois. They live in the Chicago suburbs, in the western Chicago suburbs. We go down and we visit them probably 2 to 3 times a month, and we always make sure that we have a full tank of gas before we go down there, because there is no way that we're going to stop for gas in Illinois and pay those high prices for gas down there. Gas is probably a good $1.50 more expensive in Illinois than it is here in Wisconsin, which is just insane. I don't know how gas can be that much more expensive just across the state line. I don't understand it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But it just goes to show you how much more affordable Wisconsin and Kenosha County is in general compared to other states. So Kenosha is just so much more affordable than other places around the country, and especially Illinois. So if you're watching this from Illinois, strongly consider moving up here to Kenosha. Location. So Kenosha is considered a commuter city. It's almost directly in the middle of Chicago and Milwaukee. When my wife and I moved here to Kenosha, we were actually working in Skokie. It's a kind of a suburb of Chicago. It's the north of Chicago. Um, we were both paramedics in Chicago, and when we were looking for a bigger apartment, we just couldn't afford the rents down there at the time. And one of my friends, who was also a paramedic, he was living here in Kenosha, commuting to Skokie. He said, "You know what? Just check out the prices in Wisconsin. It's just over the border." He's like, "It's only like a 40-minute commute." He said, "And the prices are so much cheaper, it's probably worth your time." So we checked out the prices. We found an apartment for like a third of the price of what they were charging in Illinois at the time. This was back in like 2012. And prices are still like a third of the price of what they charge in Illinois. It's crazy. Um, and it made sense for us to travel 40 minutes to work 3 days a week instead of paying, 3 times as much in Illinois for rent. It just made financial sense for us at the time. It still would today. So if we were doing it today, we would still move from Illinois to Wisconsin because financially it made more sense for us. And it does for a lot of people. They choose to live in Wisconsin where it's cheaper cost of living, cheaper taxes, and they work in Illinois, or a lot of people even work in Milwaukee and they live in Kenosha. Because it's a short drive to Milwaukee. It's only about 40 minutes to Milwaukee. And downtown Chicago, like the heart of Chicago, it's about an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes if you're driving. And also the train comes right to the downtown Kenosha. So you can hop on the train and take the train all the way to downtown Chicago. That's about an hour train ride. So you can work on the train. I'm pretty sure the train has Wi-Fi. If not, you can use your hotspot on your phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot. Just take the train all the way down downtown Chicago. Catch some Z's maybe. Do some work. People watch. It's an option. The train also makes other stops along other suburbs along the way. So maybe you work in Highland Park or a suburb along the way, along the train line down Chicago. So that's definitely an option. I know there's a lot of people that live in Kenosha and they work in other suburbs, like um, maybe West Allis, another suburb of Milwaukee, something like that. But yeah, a lot of people happen to live in Kenosha and just work other places. The Kenosha County itself also has almost 200,000 people. So if you like to work where you live, there's plenty of jobs here in Kenosha County for you. Obviously, people who live here need places to shop, eat, buy stuff, and work. So there are plenty of jobs here. There's manufacturing, there's service jobs, there's trucking jobs. If there's a job, if you can think about the job, it's probably here in Kenosha County. So if you have that skill, it's probably somewhere here in Kenosha County. There's healthcare. There's all kinds of jobs here in Kenosha County. You just gotta search for it, and you can probably find it. So if you like to work where you live, or if you like to live where you work, you can definitely do that here in Kenosha and Kenosha County. Lakefront living is also a huge attraction of people up here in Kenosha. Um, Obviously, Kenosha is right on the lake, Lake Michigan. Uh, a lot of people are driven up here to Kenosha for the cheaper housing costs and try to buy a condo or a house on the lake. There's also, I'd say half a dozen to a dozen inland lakes in Kenosha County itself. I have a lot of people that are looking for houses on the inland lake. They're a little harder to find sometimes, but they're not impossible. They do come up every now and then. Um, so, the Harbor Park neighborhood of Kenosha, they're redeveloping it. It's becoming a really nice neighborhood now. There's all the Kenosha museums are downtown Kenosha. There's the Public Museum, the Civil War Museum, the Dinosaur Museum. They're all really great museums. If you love history like my wife does, I strongly suggest you check them out. They're not huge museums, they're kind of small. I haven't been to them in quite a while. The Civil War Museum we were at a little while ago, they do charge a $5 admission fee now just to keep it going. Um, and I think it took us about an hour to walk through all of it. But it was worth the $5 because I actually learned quite a bit about what I thought I knew about the Civil War, but I learned some things I had forgotten or just don't remember learning in school. So if you haven't checked out these museums and you've been here to Kenosha, check them out. They're worth the free admission or the low admission price that they do charge. They're a lot of fun. They're very unique and they're not very big. They won't take you very long to walk through. So definitely check them out if you're here in Kenosha and you have some spare time. The community vibe. So one of my favorite parts about living here in Kenosha is the community vibe. They say that Kenosha, they say that Kenosha is the biggest little city in America. I don't know if that's their official tagline or not. It's what I hear a lot of locals say here. Um, you definitely get that big city vibe because you have all the amenities of a big city here in Kenosha. But we still have that little city feel here. People are still friendly. They still smile at you. You still have a lot of people that'll wave to you. When you walk into a store, they'll still say hi to you. How can I help you? Your friends will still, shake your hand. Um, you don't have a you don't have people that'll just brush you off and ignore you. So Kenosha still has that community vibe, especially the small businesses downtown. Spring through fall, there is so much to do here in Kenosha, from outdoor activities to even things indoor. There's always something going on, pretty much every day, especially on the weekends. You can find something to do spring through fall almost every single day, from live concert events to the farmers market every Saturday down in Harbor Park. Of course, if you're going to move here to Kenosha, we have to talk about the weather. So yes, living in Wisconsin, it does get cold. We have winter, obviously. So, it gets cold. I would say the average temperature here in Kenosha is probably in January and February, probably like 28, 30 degrees. Um, it gets cold. You know, During the really cold streaks, it probably gets down to like teens, maybe even sub-zero Fahrenheit. Our average snowfall, believe it or not, is only like 36 inches per year. So that's per the whole season, November to like beginning of March. We get about 36 inches per year. So people that look at Wisconsin and think that we get a ton of snow every year, statistically and average wise, we don't. Some years, obviously, we get more than 36 inches, and then some years we get a lot less. Like this past year in 2023 season, we really didn't get very much snow. I think I don't know this for a fact, but I think I only had to clear my driveway like twice the whole season. So we really had like very little snow this past season. A couple years before that, it seemed like I was clearing my driveway almost every other day. So, it just depends on the season. But it does get cold. You just have to bundle up, turn up your heat a little bit. Uh, if you're moving here from a warmer state, like let's say Florida or Arizona, and you've never driven in the snow or the ice, uh, just make sure you take it extra slow, extra cautious, because driving on ice covered or snow covered roads is totally different from driving on even wet roads. It is a very different experience. The roads act very different. Your car acts very different. Trust me. During the first snowfall of the season, everybody forgets how to drive during wintertime. We see a ton of accidents. Everybody acts a fool. It is a very unique experience during the first snowfall of the season. So we talked a little bit about community vibe and the things to do here in Kenosha. But what else is there to do here in Kenosha? So there's all kind of outdoor activities. So Kenosha and Kenosha County itself, they have miles and miles of parks, hiking trails, bike paths. Petrifying Springs Park is, I believe, the biggest park in Kenosha itself. Maybe the biggest one in Kenosha County. I'm not sure. Bong Recreational, I think that's a state park, but I think that's in both Kenosha and Racine County. And I think it's bigger, but I don't think it's just in Kenosha County. But Petrifying Springs Park is probably my favorite park to go to because it is both plains and wooded areas, and there are just miles and miles of trail you can walk. There's wooded trail, there's trails along the stream, there's open area trails. Um, it's just a beautiful place to walk at. And then obviously we have the lakefront. You go downtown, you can walk through the lakefront area, um, walk down, before the sun rises. As the sun is rising, stop and snap a few pictures. Get some pictures of that beautiful sun as it rises over the lake. Nothing beats those pictures of the sun as it rises over the lake. Get some beautiful pictures of the sun as it's rising over those iconic lighthouses that are downtown Kenosha. It's absolutely stunning and beautiful. Believe it or not, some of the best pictures that I've ever gotten in downtown Kenosha are in the wintertime. When the lake is freezing or really cold, and you get that steam off the lake and the sun is just starting to come up. It's absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. So if you do happen to move here or if you just happen to be here in the wintertime, go check out the lakefront in the wintertime. Just bundle up because it gets really cold down there, especially when the wind's blowing off the lake. Other things to do here in Kenosha, like I said earlier, in the summer, spring, and even in the fall, there's constant activities. There's the farmers market, the harbor market that's downtown Kenosha every Saturday. I think it starts in May and it goes through October. There's all kinds of vendors down there. There's obviously farmers selling produce. There's food trucks. There's jewelry sellers. Um, if you could want it, there's probably somebody selling it down there. Um, there's all kinds of things down there. So if you're here on a Saturday morning, I think it starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 2 p.m. Come check it out. It's a wonderful place to go to. We try to go to it as often as we can on Saturday mornings because it's just a great place to go to, network, talk to people, see people you haven't seen in a while because a lot of people in Kenosha do end up going down there at least a couple times a season. And it's a great place to get some food because generally it's the same food places down there, but they're really good. They're delicious. Other things to do, they close off downtown Kenosha, usually a couple blocks for like some street um, concerts. They do a couple car shows downtown. A couple weekends ago, they just had a really big car show downtown Kenosha. They closed off most of downtown for it. Um, they do concerts at Penny. I always say this name wrong. Pennior Park on the north side of Kenosha. Um, they do the sailboat races out of the on Lake Michigan. Those are a lot of fun. They do the tall ships parade out of the harbor in downtown Kenosha. There's just lots of fun for the whole family, things for the whole family to do, all throughout the year. Uh, the best place to find these kind of things to do is go to visitkenosha.com, I believe, and look and see what's on their calendar. Finally, number 7 is Kenosha's a family-friendly environment. So there's plenty of schools down here in Kenosha between public and private schools. There's tons of schools to choose from. Lots of different parks to choose from. There's parks galore. I couldn't tell you how many parks Kenosha has. I tried to find out exactly how many parks Kenosha has. I get different counts from different websites. Even Kenosha's own website has different counts. So I don't know honestly. Um, it just makes it a great place to raise a family. There's plenty of educational activity for kids. The Kenosha Public Library does a lot of fun activity for kids. One of my daughter's favorite things to do every other Friday at the Southwest Library here by our house. They do a thing for I would call it preteens. I think it's ages 12 through 15, so not even preteens. It goes to teenagers, I guess. Um, they just kind of get together. They do arts and crafts, and they watch like a movie that they're all kind of interested in. And they just hang out. They talk, get to know each other. And it's just like a safe space for them after school to hang out and just not to get into trouble. And it's something great that the public library does. It's free, no cost to us um, as parents. And it's something great that the library does. The library does all kinds of things. Check out the Kenosha Public Library website. They do things for little kids too, like story time, um, arts and crafts for smaller kids, for school age kids, toddlers, babies. They have all kinds of great things throughout all of Kenosha. Even in the county does all kinds of great things for kids. So Kenosha and Kenosha County is a great place to move to and raise a family. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video and hanging out with me for the last few minutes. If you guys have any questions about this video or any other real estate related question, please drop them down in the comments. I read all the comments and respond to them as quickly as I can. All my contact information is down below in the description. You can call, text, or email me anytime. I respond to you just as quickly as I possibly can. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.